Happy New Year from the Marching to Madness Zoomcast podcast. And we have Eric Konkol back on the show from the Louisiana Tech Bulldogs. They've won 7 out of their last 8 games. They fashioned an 11-3 record. They took the 2 opening games, Coach, with a pair of nice wins over Marshall and Western Kentucky.
Well, thank you. It's great to be with you again, Ken. And yeah, we're excited to be starting conference play. We started off this last weekend with 2 really good opponents at home in Marshall and Western Kentucky, 2 teams that we feel will challenge towards the top of the East Division of Conference USA. Both very good in different ways, but 2 really good wins for us. Our guys stepped up, had a good lead in the Marshall game that we were able to run away with the game, but we had to come from behind in that Western Kentucky game, down 17 in the second half, and found a way to still win it in regulation. So proud of our guys for just continuing to try to get better each day and battle like crazy on game day.
There you go. You were trailing Western Kentucky by 12 with around 4 to play. And of course, like you say, they're going to challenge for the Eastern Crown. Your team is definitely a challenger, I think. So what's going through your mind with that big a deficit with 4 minutes to play, given your talent?
Well, we were having a hard time stopping them, number one. In this first half, we had a hard time scoring. We only scored 21 points. They've got Sharp, the big 7'5" kid in the middle, that just really creates so many challenging scenarios because you try to get to the paint with the drive and with the post up, and he's just there to swat and alter everything. So it took some time to really figure out how we could score. And then in the second half, we had a hard time stopping them. Justice was electric from 3. McKnight was getting to the paint and buried 2 threes. Just made a number of plays, but we were able to just hang in there, make a couple plays to get the game interesting. And then we had some fortunate things happen our way. They missed a couple free throws. We got a turnover. And then Cobe Williams made 8. He had 8 points down in the last couple minutes, 2 big threes, 1 to tie the game. And then Junior Lofton makes 2 free throws with 5 seconds to go. And we were able to get 1 more stop. So our thought always, Ken, is just continue pushing to the final buzzer and find a way.
Yep. 17 wins in a row at home now. And of course, like you say, my man, Kenneth Lofton, 22 and 11, a double-double. Talk a little bit about his game and where you see him now, in I guess, not only maybe the realm of the CUSA race, but as a figure nationally.
Well, I think he's one of the best players in the country, and he's grown in his game. He's improved his body. He's improved his conditioning. He played 36 minutes in this ball game on Saturday, Ken, and that was a 1 o'clock tip after playing Saturday or Thursday night at 8 o'clock. And so a year ago, he played 12 minutes in his first college basketball game. So his conditioning's improved, his skill levels improved, his free throw, his passing. He's clever with the dribble and the pass. But he is a guy that I just think is one of the best players in the country. We're going to get him the ball a lot, but he's also going to make a lot of plays for other people because in the end of the day, all he cares about is trying to win the ball game.
Yeah, he's averaging 58% from the floor and almost a double-double with 9.8 rebounds.
Yeah, he's a stat stuffer, and he's got such feel on the offensive end to create ways to get himself to the basket or grab a double team and hit the open man. But even on the defensive end, Ken, whether it's hedging a ball screen or just being in the right spot, he's got such quick hands and feet, can put himself in position to help our defense. So again, he's still just a young second-year player. I think he's got still great room for improvement.
Coach, we're talking about Cobe Williams. He's a Conference USA Player of the Week. He averaged 20 points into 2 games. He shot 62% from the floor. Curious about what was it about his offensive game these 2 nights that made him take it to another level?
Well, this is what we felt like he was capable of, Ken. And he had a really good summer shooting the basketball, just wasn't getting into that consistent rhythm at other points of the year. But certainly when Isaiah Crawford went down, I told Kobe, we're going to need you to score. We're going to need to have bits and pieces of everybody step their game up in Isaiah's absence. And I know this, and since we broke from school, he has spent even more time being in the gym a couple times a day outside of practice, of just seeing the ball go in the basket, working with our coaches, working with our managers, and just getting as many shots as possible. He's gotten himself into a good routine. And now, of course, we just want him to keep with it and keep getting better.
Yeah, Isaiah Crawford, you mentioned, he was one of your top offensive players as well in 3 games. Talk a little bit about his injury and what the timetable might be.
Well, he's out for the entire year. And so he's having surgery and going to be out for the entire year, and look to rehab him and get him ready for next year. Of course, a big loss for us. He's a returning all-league player. Really had a very good summer, was playing really good basketball, and it's just one of those freak injuries in the 3rd game of the year. And but he's missed. But I'll tell you what, when his playing career is over, and I expect it to be a long time from now, he wants to be a coach, and he's doing some coaching related things right now with stats and things like that. He's a big part of what we're doing.
There you go. KeShawn Willis, a nice 3-point threat, leading the Bulldogs with 37 and 36.6% from the field from 3.
Yeah, he's a guy that we were counting on to be a great perimeter threat when we recruited him. Knowing the type of attention that Junior Lofton was going to get on the interior, we wanted to have a bunch of guys that could spread the floor, and him being one of them. But he's been, as we expected, a guy that can really shoot it, but he's also clever on the dribble, pull up jump shots, getting to the rim. But he's just continued to be immersed into our program. He's a great guy in our locker room and in our leadership. We're very, very happy he's here.
Amari Archibald's your 2nd leading scorer. He had 17 points, 8 boards on Saturday. How have you seen him grow now as a player through his tenure at Louisiana Tech?
He's had a long tenure here, Ken. This is his 5th year. And one of the great joys of being a college basketball coach is, he was 16 years old when I first called him and offered him a scholarship. And now he's a 5th-year senior. And watching that maturation process, not just as a player, but a person, a student. He's already graduated here, but he's just a guy that knows exactly what's asked of him and our team. He's like another coach on the floor. He knows exactly our schemes and so forth. And he's been in a lot of big moments. So having that steady hand out on the floor is so vitally important.
Talking about Louisiana Tech and your tenure there, we know about the defensive presence that you guys have. Talk a little bit about that this year. How is it different? Are you looking for it, to kind of peak even more?
Oh, absolutely. And we are very much a work in progress defensively. And it's something that we're emphasizing all the time. We've been the #1 defensive team in our league the last 2 years.
Yeah.
And we're not there yet. Now, some of it is we're retooling a little bit with a smaller lineup. And we also have a lot of young guys in our program. The guys that are coming off the bench for us right now, we have 1 upperclassman that just gotten healthy, but the other 4 guys are really 1st and 2nd year guys in college. And they're all freshman eligibility. So we're younger, but I think we're capable. It's just something we got to keep getting better at throughout this conference play. But I've seen moments, we just got to become more consistent.
9 Bulldogs are averaging double figures in minutes, and if you put Isaiah in there, it would be 10. How are these guys connecting? As you mentioned, many of them are 1st and 2nd year players, and the chemistry. You have some really good leaders on that team who can impart a lot of wisdom to these guys.
You're right, Ken. I mean, Xavier and Christian, Amari Archibald have been here 5 years. Stacey Thomas 4. Cobe Williams and Isaiah Crawford 3. And then we got a bunch of 1st and 2nd year guys, even Junior Lofton, his 2nd year in the program. Yeah. But we're counting on those upperclassmen to really, this is a player-led program, and we want that. And so when you have guys that have had blood, sweat, and tears for this program for so long, I think it's really important. But thankfully, we were able to have a really good summer. Unlike the summer before, we didn't have as much time because of COVID, but we've got a tight knit group. They like each other. They hang with each other outside of the arena. I think that can carry. We've got some really good, just good people in the program. And that's something we look for. They love basketball. They spend a lot of time in here working on their own and working with each other. So we want to ride that as far as we can.
Well, you know, you mentioned COVID, and hopefully the variant's going to start to dip here, and hopefully it'll dip away because, you know, we want our tournaments, we want our season. I think we want everybody to play. What was the Conference USA protocol for missed games?
So like everybody, or most everybody early, it was going to be considered a forfeit. And then, of course, with this variant and people that are even vaccinating becoming positive and having to sit a while, then it's gone to a no contest and a look to reschedule. There is a policy in place that if you've got 7 players and 1 coach that you are to play. So, but it's all figuring out your contact tracing and your positives and everything else. But that's what we're operating on. But I know things are changing all the time.
Yeah, and it sounds like it's the same as across the country. I just didn't know, you know, although I kind of figured Conference USA was in line with that. Last thing, Coach, you got to go down into Texas this week to play Texas El Paso and UT San Antonio. The Miners are up first on Thursday. They're led by Sule Boom, who scores 19.9 points per game. Talk about that matchup and then him as a player.
Well, we're very familiar with him, and he's been there for a few years now and been a great scorer throughout his tenure there. He's a guy that can do it on the dribble, do it on the catch. He can lead the break, finish the break, but he's an electric scorer, and we can't let him just get going like that. They've got other pieces too. You know, Coach Golding gets him playing really, really hard on the defensive end, and that's always a difficult place to play. And so we're going to have to be ready for a long road trip and ready to play a very, very hard playing team on Thursday night.
Coach Eric Konkol there with the Louisiana Tech Bulldogs, a good watch. Coach, best of luck to you. I appreciate your time. You're the first guest of the new year.
Well, thanks so much, Ken. It's always great being with you, and look forward to doing it again soon.
Yeah, good luck to you.
Thank you too.